Hello and welcome back to my channel. Over the past weekend, the Excel Esports Brazil team held their third round of competition. This one based on a case called Where Do I Put My Answers? Women's Edition. Now this is a unique case layout that was coined by the Excel Esports Brazil team last year in their semifinals, which is where we actually have all of the answers here. We have a list of 145 women, and these are going to go into 145 spots in this case. Now, the thing is, like, each question does not have specific information. Instead, we need to look at the level instructions and the bonus instructions to figure out which woman goes where. And because of this layout, we have to complete this case in a specific order. Level 1, then bonus 1, then level 2, then bonus 2, and so on and so on. Otherwise, we might not get the information in the right order that we need to for this case. The other thing to pay attention to is that in Portuguese, we have a lot of accented characters. And so a lot of the questions, we are going to have to treat them as their unaccented equivalents. So a really fun case. Follow along with me and let's see how long it could take to get a complete solve. Here we go. All right, let's go down to level 1. Level 1 asks, who are the first 20 women listed? This one's pretty easy. What I can do is I can just take this list of women here, and I only want the first 20 of them there. That's going to answer this level. Level 2, considering the list of names available at this level, who are the first 20 women who meet the following criterion? The total number of characters in the name is odd, including spaces and any punctuation marks. Right, so what we need to do is we need to take this original list of 145 women, and the key here is to keep a continuing list of how many women are still remaining. So I'm going to call this lists, and for this list, what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter the original list of women that I just used here, and I'm going to filter that for how many of them don't show up in level 1. So I'm going to count if the answers for level 1 and compare that to that women list there. And if that equals 0, then those women are going to show up on this new list. So here I should have a list of 125 women, which I do. So the question was, the total number of characters in the name is odd. All right, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the length of every woman's name here. So we see some are odd and some are even. And so what I'm going to do here is once again, I'm going to take the filter. So I'm going to filter this list here where the number listed here is odd. And I might have to add a plus symbol to the isOdd function. Let me just find out here. We need to take the first 20 women. Yep, I think that is what I need to do. There we go. So we have the first 20 women with odd number of characters in their name. Now before I go to level 3, let me once again do my filter. So I'm going to filter this list where if we were to count the women in here in that list, then the answer should be 0. So now we had 125. Now I should be left with 105, which I am. Let's go to level 3. Considering the list of names available at this level, who are the first 21 who meet this following criterion? Their name contains the letters E and N next to each other in either order. Now I want to go up and I just want to take a quick look. Do we have accented E characters? We do have an accented E character. So I think at this part what I want to do is I want to create a second list of the women's names, but this time taking all of the accents and whatever out of the characters. So let's create a new tab and I'm going to call this unaccented. And I think what I want to do is I want to start with the list of women that we have here. By the way, the reason why we're dealing with women is this case is themed on Women's History Month, which this case took place in March. And now I think what I'm going to do is I am going to split out all of the letters. I want to see all the characters that are used in all of these names. So I'm going to do this mid-sequence combination, which will let me take all the characters out. And, oh, why did I use a pound here? I should not have used a pound. There we go. Let me just fix the width here so that it's a bit easier to see. There we go. So we have Ada Lovelace. I'm going to do the same for the rest of the characters. And let me just see here. What is the longest name? The longest name is 24 characters. Right. So let me count to 24. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the name should end there. Oh, right on column Z. How convenient. And so I think what I'm going to do here on column B is I'm going to figure out all the letters. So let's go ahead and do sort unique to call all the letters in these columns here. And then ignoring blanks and errors there. There are no errors, but You know, that's just the easy way to do it. So this is going to be, let me just shift this down. This is going to be accented, and this is going to be unaccented. So for these 4 characters, I'm going to keep them the way that they are. And then let's go ahead and run through these letters. Now there is no easy formula way to turn these into a regular E, so I'm just going to quickly run down and just type them in. A, B, C, C, D, E, 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 F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, U, whoops, that's C, U there, V, W, X, Y, and Z. There we go. So now we have all the accented letters on all the unaccented letters. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into the unaccented names, and then I can concat them. But this is currently pulling for that. So I'm going to copy paste values here. Now I can XLOOKUP all of the results here from the first column listed there, and return the corresponding character in the second column listed there. Now that's not going to make any difference for Ada Lovelace, but if I go down to Beyonce, take a look at this last E down here. That should just turn into a regular E, which it does. I know I took out all the capitalization. That should be fine because these aren't going to be the answers. These are still going to be the answers. So let's go ahead and concatenate them together. And there we have all of our unaccented names listed there. So the question was, which names contain the letters E and N next to each other in either order? All right, so let's see if this contains EN or this contains NE. So let's do, actually, EN, can I do it like that? Is number search one of those two and any of those? Is that going to work? Well, that's not an array, so that's not going to work. Let me try this here, and that does appear to work. Yes, it does. So now let's go ahead and do a by call or into there. Oh, by row, sorry. By row or, so it's going to be true if it's an NE. It's going to be true if it's an EN. Yep, that's working. And so now let me go back to this list here, and let me go ahead and XLOOKUP the women's names in this list from column A and then return column C, because that's whether there's an NE or an EN. Now what I can do is I can go back here and I'm going to take the filtered list from this here where this is true or false. And I forgot that I want to take 20 of them. There we go. That gives me all 20. Excellent. A couple things I want to do. Yeah, let me do that here. I'm going to change this a little bit. So I'm going to take these column headers out. I'm just going to put them straight into the formula. There we go. And then I could delete these headers up there so I have a nice cleaner sheet to work with. And then once again, I'm going to refilter this list. So I'm going to filter this list of women where count if from this level C1 pound equals 0. I'm going to memorize this formula because I've done it a number of times now. I have 85 left. Level 4. Considering the list of names available at this level, who are the first 20 women who meet the following criteria? The name contains 2 identical consecutive letters, A, B, B, C, C, all the way to Z, Z. There is only one occurrence of this pattern in the name. Now, when I did this case live, this is where I screwed up. I forgot to only count for when this happens once. And so I got from level 4 on out, I messed up. A lot of people messed Estee Lauder because she has the accent in her name. I was actually fine with that. It was just I counted any instance of a double letter. So let's go ahead and get our letters out. Let's see, lower car sequence of 26 starting at 65. I know I probably could turn this to like 97. I don't remember what the number is, but I memorized 65. So that should give me, ooh, I have a spill. Oh, because I have these. Is this still in a formula mode? Yes, let's take that out. Let's then take these out. Now I get all of my letters. Excellent. What I want to do is I want to double them. So I'm going to repeat it twice for every letter. There we go. And then let's see how many times these letters occur within the name. So we're going to do the length substitute combination. So the length of these minus length of substitute from these letters, replace them with blanks. Now what's going to happen is every time the letter occurs, I'm going to get a 2 because it's difference by a length of 2. So I'm going to take this and divide it by 4. Or sorry, divided by 2. So now we're going to see how many times each combination occurs. And then I'm going to do 2 things. First, I am going to do a by row. Whoops. Sum there. So now I can see how many times that occurs. So this one's got 2 because we have SS and FF right there, right? I think that's where I ended up screwing up a lot. And then once again, I want to take these column headers out. So let me just hard code those in there. So now I think all I need to do is I need to, right, bring that back to this list here. Yep. So we are going to XLOOKUP these names from column A, return column D. So that's how many times they have double characters. And we are going to then take filter from this list. How many of these are equal to 1? And we want 20 of them. There we go. We got the first 20 names that match that category. Excellent. Let's go ahead and filter this again. So we're going to filter this list where count if from this level to that list equals 0. So now we have 65 names left. And I am just now realizing I haven't done some of the bonuses. But the answers are still coming out. Cool. All right, well, let's do the bonuses. Among the available names on the list, which one is the shortest? All right, so we are going to sort by, let's try this list again. Sort that list by the length of that list, and then we'll put an add to pull out the first name from that list, and we are going to get Marta. Bonus 2, among the available names, who's the first woman whose last name ends with repeated letters? Okay, so this is after level 2. But then again, I am getting all of these correct. So it should still be the first woman on that list with, or on this list whose name ends with repeated characters, which is Dilma Rousseff there. So let me do this. Right of these words equals mid of these words from length of this minus 1 and 1 character. So that should give me the character from the end. And the first one we get is Dilma Rousseff. So let's go ahead and filter this list compared to this list of trues and falses. We'll throw an at in the middle so we get the first name from that list, and there we go. Bonus 3, among the available names on the list, who's the woman whose name is in the exact middle position? Okay, so this is the one that I'm a bit more worried about. So we need to get the list of names after bonus 3. So, or after level 3. So let me take a look at my lists here. So this was after level 1, right? Right. This is after level 2. This is after level 3. So we need the middle name from this list here. So, but then I didn't take out. Okay. Whew. I didn't take. Okay, let me just create a couple of new lists here. I didn't take out the names from earlier. So I'm going to filter this list where count if these two answers in that list equals 0. So there we go. Now we get the list. That should give me 83 names. Yes. All right. So to get the middle name, let's go with index from that list. The row number is going to be rows of that list divided by 2 plus 1. That should pull out the middle name, which is Nadia Murad. That is correct. And right. So we need to, let's go ahead and pull these 3 names out of the last list that I worked with, which was this list here. So yeah, let's go ahead. And if I pull out those 3 names, then I should be right back on track. So let's go ahead and filter this list. We'll count if these 3 names in that list equals 0. So now I have 62 names. So that should be after level 4. Now we could go to bonus 4, which says, among the available names on this list, who's the woman whose name contains no repeated letters? Right. I think I still could have done this without filtering out the lists. Am I on bonus 4? I should have finished level 4. Yes, I did. Okay, so I can do bonus 4. Right. All right, so let me go back to here. And I think what I want to do now is I want to count how many of each letter is in those names. So let's once again do lower car sequence from 26 starting at 65. So that's all the letters. And let's find out how many times the letters appear in the names. So length of all these minus length of substitute all of these we're taking this letter and replacing it with nothing. So that gives us how many letters are in each name. I'm going to keep this because I think this is going to be valuable information. But over here, I'm going to by row. I'm going to find the max. So the max is going to tell me how many times each letter was repeated or used within the name. Basically, which letter was used the most. So this one has one, but there's a 3 there. That shouldn't give me a 1. There's a 3. What's this person's name? Also, that's definitely... Oh, because I highlighted the wrong range. E2 max. There we go. That actually makes a lot more sense. Right. So let's go back to our list. This is the list that we have remaining. Let's go ahead and XLOOKUP this in column A. Return column AE. And we are going to pull the first one, which is going to be this one. Now, this one, right. So this bonus tripped me up a bit because there's actually 2 names that don't repeat letters. And the organizer's point was here earlier. I believe it mentioned, let's see, what did it mention? There was a mention where when there's no explicit instruction, answers must be given in alphabetical order. The worksheet is already sorted that way. So their argument is choose the first name that's in alphabetical order, right? So we're going to filter this list of women where this equals 1 and this @ symbol is going to pull out that first name, which is Golda Meir. Right. Let's go ahead and get a new refiltered list. So filter this where count if I'm going to do all 4 of these. It doesn't matter. I know I've already done the 3, but I'm going to do all 4 just to be safe. J1 hash equals 0. That really shouldn't affect things. I still have 61 names to go. If I look here, only 1 name was taken out. So that's fine. Right. We are on level 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at level 5. Considering the list of names available at this level, who are the first 20 women who meet the following criterion? The name contains 6, 7, or 8 distinct consonants. Right, distinct consonants. Okay, so how do we do this one? I think there's really a couple ways to do this one. I think the first way is to just count all of the consonants. And I think that might be the easier way. Yeah, so let's go ahead and count all the consonants. So we'll close consonants there. And we're going to sum. Let's see. We got B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now, I did include Y. And the reason why I included Y was because... Do I have some weird numbers? No. Okay. We're good. The reason why I included Y is because in the instructions it does say... the letter Y is not considered a vowel, so I'm going to count it as a consonant here. So let me, now that I have the list of, oh, that's the total number of consonants, but we need how many distinct consonants. So that's actually not going to work here. I think instead what I'm going to do is let's create a vowelless name. So I'm going to substitute, substitute, substitute. I'm going to do this 5 times. If I can spell substitute. Right, so we are going to substitute these names. We're going to take the A out. We're going to take the E out. We're going to take the I out. Now be careful because Excel capitalized the I. We don't want it capitalized. We're going to take the O out. And we are going to take the U out. Right, so that takes all the names, takes all of the vowels out. Now once again, I think I am going to do the same formula over here. And I'm going to do this same formula over here, but instead this is going to be AF1, AF2 hash. Yep, that gets all the names out. Put that here in the substitute as well. So now we see how many consonants there are. And I think what I'm going to do to find out how many consonants is we are going to count if how many of these are greater than 0. So this one says there are 4 greater than 0. That means we have 4 consonants: C, D, L, and V. Yep, that makes sense. All right. Okay, so these are the number of unique consonants in the names. Let's go back to this list here. Once again, we're going to XLOOK this into column A on this sheet, and then return the number of unique consonants, which is in column BG. Right. So we have 7, 7, 7, 6, 7, 4, etc. Now for this level, they want to know how many names contain 6, 7, or 8 distinct consonants. So once again, let's go ahead and take filter this list here. And there's two conditions that we're going to look for now. So this must be greater than or equal to 6, I believe. Right, 6, 7, or 8. Yep. And then also, this must be less than or equal to 8. And it shouldn't be a comma here. It should be a multiplies, because the multiply will then take them as an and take them together. And we want to take the first 20 rows of that list, and that's going to answer this level. Right, so let's go ahead and get a new filtered list. So we're going to filter this. Count if in this level from L1 hash equals 0. So now we have 41 names remaining. After level 5, we can move on to bonus 5. Among the available names on the list, which one has the greatest common divisor of the following? The frequency of the most repeated letter, the number of distinct letters, and the total number of letters. Right, so there's a lot there. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this as an image so I can easily look at this as I try to do all the math. So we want the frequency of most repeated letters. So let's do B5A. That's the first criteria. That's going to basically be the max of these letters there, which, does this column do the same? Probably, I forgot. All right, so there we go, we have that. Next is a number of distinct letters. So we are going to count if, once again, how many of these are greater than 0. And then finally, the total number of letters. So B5C is going to be the sum of all of these letters here. And now for the greatest common divisor, we can just use the GCD function to do that. And then we're going to bring that out to our list here. Lookup from this list, compare that to column A, and return the greatest common denominator, which is in column BK. And we want which one has the greatest common divisor. So we are going to add sort by this list with this list, which is the greatest common denominator. So we're going to do it in negative order, so it's going to go largest to smallest, and that's going to be Stephanie Kwolek. Right, all right, let's take her name out of the list. So filter this, or count if this name in that list, so that's N1 hash equals 0. So now we should have 40 names remaining. That's exactly enough we need for the final 2 levels. So let's take a look at level 6. Considering the list of names available for this level, rank them according to the criteria below and select the top 20 names. Highest sum of letter values, where A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 0, all the way down to Z equals 26. Got it? In case of a tie, alphabetical order prevails. Well, alphabetical order already prevails, so that's fine. So we just need to find the names with the highest sum of letter values. Well, great news. We already have these letters here. So all we need to do here for level 6 is we are going to sum the frequency of all of these letters by a sequence of 26 columns. Whoops. Copy and paste this all the way down. Now, I probably could have done the whole range. I'm pretty sure I could have done the whole range, but I didn't. Right, so let me just make sure I'm looking at the right. Yes, I am. Okay, good. So once again, let's go back up here. Let's X look up these names from column A. Return the name scores here. And then once again, we are going to take sort by the names here based on the score. Is that an array? I believe that's an array. That should be an array. In negative order, take the top 20 names. There we go. All right, let's once again filter these names out of the list. You know the drill. P1 hash equals 0. And then we should be left with 20 names to get the last level. So the last level is asking, using the list of names available for this level, remove the vowels from each name and then sort them alphabetically. The answers must be presented in their original form, including the vowels. Well, great news. In this sheet, I already took out the vowels for the names. So I'm going to do this as an X lookup here. So we're going to X lookup this list from column A here and return the names without the vowels there. That did not work. Oh, why did they go to AM? I must have fat fingers. There we go. Ooh, should I be... Well, that's going to be on top anyways, so that should be fine. And... Right, so we need to sort by that column now. So, sort by this list of names by this list of names without vowels. Those are all going to match in, and that is how you solve this case. A very fun case indeed, but the challenge with these cases is that once you make one small mistake, that's going to affect the entire score for the rest of the case. That's what happened to me, and that's what happened to a lot of people who didn't filter out Estee Lauder properly for level 4. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got a lot from it. I really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed this case just as I enjoy all of the cases from the Brazil local chapter. If you want to see more, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel as I aim to upload a lot of esports cases from throughout this year. Stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you for the next one.
It's the Excel